Audi A3 saloon is the firm's smallest four-door saloon, going up against the likes of the Mercedes-Benz CLA, Jaguar X and smaller two-door BMW 2 Series Coupe. It shares its underpinnings with the A3 and A3 Sportback, and so it comes with the same sharp styling, high-quality interior and comprehensive range of turbocharged petrol and diesel engines. While small saloons are more popular in Asian and American markets, it's trading on its sharp styling and desirability here in the UK, but it's more practical than you might think. Despite its less practical access, the A3 saloon's boot is actually bigger than the A3 Sportbacks, and there's also a bit of extra legroom thanks to a slightly stretched body -150mm longer than the Sportback. Choice of TFSI and TDI engines on the road, the A3 saloon is a good performer with a mature feel to the way it drives. It's quiet and refined no matter which version you pick, performance models aside, with a good choice of engines. Buyers can choose from a familiar selection of turbocharged TFSI petrols and punchy TDI diesels, although the saloon goes without the entry-level engines from the regular A3, and it doesn't come as an e-tron plug-in hybrid, either. High-quality interior. The interior of the A3 saloon is one of its most attractive selling points. It's simple and fresh in its design, but everything is made from really plush materials that are pleasant to touch, with neat design details that make it a pleasant place in which to spend time. It's also available with extra tech such as Audi's virtual cockpit, which not only makes life easier, but also makes the A3 feel genuinely upmarket and modern. Performance S3 and RS3 available. If you're looking for a more performance-focused A3 saloon, you're well catered for with a choice of S3 or RS3 models. A turbocharged 310 horsepower 2.0-litre TFSI petrol engine matched with an S-tronic automatic gearbox and quattro all-wheel drive powers the S3, providing a middle ground between regular A3 saloons and the high-performance RS3. If you want to go all out and opt for the range-topping RS3, you'll benefit from a 2.5-litre turbocharged petrol pushing out 400 horsepower, and it makes for a genuine little super saloon with aggressive looks and sensational straight-line speed. The verdict: the Audi A3 saloon is a stylish and desirable small saloon with a suitably upmarket interior to match its premium image. It's not a particularly engaging car to drive, even though high-end models are more about straight-line speed than excitement in the Benz, but it would undoubtedly be a satisfying car to own due to its wide breadth of abilities. Plus, it has a bigger boot than the 5-door A3 Sportback. It's just more difficult to get to it. Read on for the full Audi A3 saloon review in depth. Wide choice of turbocharged engines. Diesels are punchy and frugal, petrols are smooth and refined. The A3 saloon's engine lineup largely mimics that of the regular A3s, but doing without entry-level units, as such. TFSI petrol options. If you're looking for a petrol A3 saloon, your options kick off with a 1.5-litre TFSI unit producing 150 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque. It's capable of completing the 0 to 62 mph benchmark sprint in 8.2 seconds, and will go on to reach a top speed of 139 mph. It's a clever engine, though, featuring active cylinder technology which, switching off cylinders to boost efficiency when the car doesn't need to be using them. You can specify this engine with a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed S-tronic dual-clutch automatic, both offering identical performance figures. If you want more petrol power before you reach the dedicated sports versions, there's a 2.0-litre TFSI offering 190 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. This engine offers a noticeable drop in 0 to 62 mph time, taking just 6.9 seconds to complete the sprint, and will go on to reach 155 mph. Go for a manual version and its front-wheel drive, while opting for the S-tronic version adds quattro all-wheel drive into the mix, bringing the 0 to 62 mph time down again, to 6.2 seconds. Top speed for this version is 150 mph. TDI diesels. Buyers can pick from a trio of diesels in the A3 saloon, starting off with a sensible 1.6-litre TDI with 116 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque. It'll complete the 0 to 62 mph sprint in 10.4 seconds when fitted with either a 6-speed manual or 7-speed S-tronic auto gearbox, and will go on to reach 127 mph at the top end. Next up is a 150 horsepower 2.0-litre TDI, both using a 6-speed manual gearbox, but with a choice of front or all-wheel drive quattro. It produces 340 Nm of pulling power. The front-wheel drive version takes care of the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint in 8.6 seconds, while the Quattro will manage it in 8.3 seconds. Both go on to reach 137 miles per hour at the top end. Providing the most diesel performance is a 2.0-litre TDI with 184 horsepower and 380 Nm of torque. It's driven through Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive system and a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox, and sprints from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 6.8 seconds. It'll go on to reach a 147 miles per hour top speed. S3 Saloon. The S3 Saloon steps up the performance if you're looking for a fast everyday saloon. With a 2.0-litre TFSI petrol engine under the bonnet and 310 horsepower on tap, it's certainly no slouch thanks to Quattro all-wheel drive and a slick shifting S-tronic gearbox delivering a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of just 4.6 seconds. This car will go on to reach a limited top speed of 155 miles per hour, should you find yourself on an autobahn and in need of a blast. RS3 Saloon. If you want big performance from your A3 Saloon, the RS3 will be the one for you. Powered by a sonorous 2.5-litre TFSI turbo petrol, it produces 400 horsepower and is capable of launching from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 4.2 seconds. It delivers its power relentlessly, powering through the S-tronic transmission incredibly quickly and smoothly, unless you want a more ferocious setup in sport, and feels like it'll keep going on and on. There's sound to match, too, especially if you opt for the sports exhaust system at extra cost, sounding every bit the bargain Lamborghini. Engines no longer available. The A3 Saloon was launched with a different set of TFSI petrol engines which have since been discontinued. They included a 1.4 TFSI with 140 horsepower and 260 Nm of torque, since replaced by the 1.5-litre TFSI with active cylinder shutdown. It managed the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint in 8.4 seconds and went on to reach a 132 miles per hour top speed. Your more powerful alternative was a 1.8-litre TFSI with 180 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque. The 0 to 62 miles per hour time falls to 7.3 seconds and top speed up to 144 miles per hour. However, it's the 1.4-litre TFSI that feels the more cohesive package if you're looking at a used A3 Saloon. Tidy handling, but not exciting strong grip levels and little body roll. Several suspension setups in general, the handling of the Audi A3 Saloon is very good. It's well balanced and there's loads of grip on offer too. The steering, while a little numb, is direct and electronically well weighted to provide some engagement for keener drivers. There are 3 suspension options available: standard, sports and S-line sports suspension. On sport trim level models, sports suspension comes as standard, but you have the option of deselecting and going for the standard suspension for no extra cost. You'll see a 15 mm lower ride height with sports suspension. On S-line models you also get sports suspension as standard, while you can have the same no-cost option to revert back to standard suspension or the option of S-line sports suspension, which lowers the car a further 10 mm. Audi's Drive Select system allows you to tweak the steering between dynamic and comfort depending upon your driving requirements, or you can leave it in auto and let the car decide what's best for the way you're driving. You can also set up your own individual parameters. Solid, well-built interior, lots of tech on offer, very easy to navigate. The A3 Saloon is a refined and pleasant place to be. The materials feel better than the inside of the Mercedes-Benz CLA, and there are plenty of optional extras to choose from to boost the cabin's feel further. All of the dials are well placed on the dash, and the trip computer is a swish screen between the rev counter and speedo, which can be controlled using buttons on the steering wheel to show you vehicle information, navigation information or stereo details. Introduced as part of the 2016 facelift, though, was Audi's excellent virtual cockpit, which replaces a traditional instrument cluster with a big digital screen that can be configured to exactly how you want it to look, displaying everything from sat-nav instructions and fuel economy, to what's playing on the media system. Special mention must go to Audi's MMI system, which uses a touch wheel located by the gear lever to control functions displayed on the 7-inch screen. It offers 64 GB of storage alongside 3D sat-nav and mobile phone connectivity via Bluetooth. It is controlled via the touchpad, which not only works as a rotatory selector system but allows you to input letters with your finger by simply writing on the top of the selector. Upgrading to the more advanced version of the same system, The Audi Connect system means your car actually turns into a Wi-Fi hotspot so passengers can surf the net while you drive. It also allows connection to Google Maps and Street View for the sat-nav. Comfort depends on suspension. Good ride on the whole S-Line looks good, but stiff when it comes to comfort in the A3 saloon. The levels very much depend on the type of suspension your car has fitted. Best ride quality comes with the slightly higher riding standard suspension, which comes as a no-cost optional extra across the range. Conversely, if you want the ultimate in handling, then you'll have to sacrifice some ride quality with the S-Line Sports suspension, which offers a much stiffer, lower setup. The seats are supportive and comfortable, though, and there's not a huge amount of road or wind noise to complain about unless you opt for a model with the largest 19-inch wheels, as they can kick up quite a bit of noise. Opting for these rims means you have to also specify Audi's magnetic ride system, which reduces how crashy it can be over the worst surfaces in the road. Comprehensively equipped all-round S-Line and Black Edition are very desirable options. List can be expensive. The Audi A3 Saloon only comes in 3 trim levels: Sport, S-Line and Black Edition. But all come equipped with a generous list of standard equipment, with much more available to add for extra cost. Standard Audi A3 Saloon equipment. The A3 Saloon lineup kicks off with the Sport, coming with plenty of equipment, including 17-inch alloy wheels, Audi Drive Select, driving modes, xenon headlights with LED daytime running lights, dual zone climate control, MMI multimedia system with sat-nav, Bluetooth and Audi Connect online services, cruise control, rear parking sensors, automatic lights and wipers. Upgrading to the A3 S-Line means the whole car's exterior gets a much sharper look with lowered sport suspension, a more aggressive looking body kit and 18-inch alloy wheels. It also adds the following equipment to standard sport trim: LED headlights with scrolling rear indicators, front sports seats with S-Line logo, brushed aluminium interior trim, flat bottom steering wheel, LED interior lighting, extra interior storage. The Black Edition is all about looks, with a black styling pack that switches chrome trim on the grille and around the windows with gloss black, while privacy glass, black door mirrors and titanium look, diamond cut alloys complete the look. It also adds the Audi sound system stereo upgrade to regular S-Line trim. The S3 is a trim level in its own right, coming with the following: 19-inch alloy wheels, Audi Magnetic Ride S Sports suspension, progressive steering, Nappa leather upholstery with heated front seats, Audi sound system. A Black Edition version of the S3 is also available, adding the same features as to the A3 Black Edition, plus a Bang & Olufsen sound system and a different design of 19-inch alloy wheel. The RS3 Saloon sits at the top of the A3 Saloon hierarchy, coming with the following: 19-inch alloy wheels, RS Sports suspension, braking and exhaust system, LED headlights, all-round matte aluminium exterior trim, Nappa leather upholstery with Alcantara trim to gear lever and steering wheel, Audi virtual cockpit with RS-specific graphics, MMI navigation plus with Audi sound system. Optional Audi A3 Saloon extras. The options list is where you can really rack up the price of the A3 Saloon. We won't detail all, because there are too many to list. However, some key features are bundled into the following packs: Comfort and Sound Pack, Audi Parking System Plus, Bang & Olufsen sound system, heated front seats, Hill Hold Assist Technology Pack, Virtual Cockpit, MMI Navigation Plus, Audi Connect Services, Audi Phone Box with wireless charging. Options included in packs can be added as individual options, while other highlights include keyless entry and ignition, adaptive cruise control, Audi side assist, rear view camera. There's also the potential to choose from a wide range of colors, especially you pay extra for something from the Audi exclusive color palette, while various seat designs and wheels can be chosen when you order. Also make sure you select the best suspension setup for you. 5-star Euro NCAP crash rating, lots of driver assistance kit available, solid build and plenty of safety equipment. The Audi A3 Saloon hasn't been crash tested by Euro NCAP yet. However, the regular A3 scores a maximum 5 stars. The two cars share pretty much everything when it comes to how it's built and the safety equipment they're fitted with. Optional safety equipment includes clever matrix LED headlights which change depending on route information from the sat-nav and adjust the beam of light to not dazzle oncoming drivers. You can also order adaptive cruise control, which automatically adjusts your vehicle's speed depending on the speed of the vehicle in front. There's a lane keeping system which subtly steers the car back into its lane if it detects drifting without driver input, and park assist, which steers the car into parallel and perpendicular parking spaces. Finally, there's the Presense basic safety system, which will take preventative action should the car detect an imminent crash. If the adaptive cruise control is also fitted, this includes a system which warns, and then brakes for, the driver if it senses a collision is about to happen. It will also hold the brakes on after a collision to prevent any further damage. Enough space for a small family sloping roof. The only black Mark IV adults will fit with ease. The A3 Saloon is a compact car, so those interested are unlikely to be buying because of its practicality credentials. However, there's plenty of room in the front seats with a generous amount of adjustment in the seats, while those in the rear are treated to comfortable seats. However, taller passengers in the rear might struggle with headroom as the roofline is more sloping than the regular Sportback. At least legroom isn't too bad, so most will be comfortable on journeys that aren't too long and arduous. It's certainly more spacious inside than its most direct rival, the Mercedes-Benz CLA. Despite being a saloon, the A3 is a compact one, with neat and tidy proportions. That means it's easy to maneuver into tighter than average spaces, but you'll need parking sensors at the very least if you're regularly reversing. The jutting out saloon boot can still be deceptive because of the small, sloped rear window. The A3's boot is surprisingly practical, at 425 litres. In fact, it's the biggest in the whole A3 range with the rear seats in place, bigger even than the A3 Sportback. However, there are limitations, despite its large, square load space. Access is restricted due to the narrower opening that comes with a saloon body style, and folding the rear seats down doesn't liberate as much space as it does in something like a regular hatchback. Finally, go for a model fitted with quattro all-wheel drive, and capacity falls to 390 litres due to the extra mechanicals located beneath the floor for the rear axle.